Hello viewers, welcome to Introduction to Travel Journalism, which is MCM 111. And in today's class, we'll be looking at sources of news for for a travel journalist. The last time we discussed what is travel journalism, and we say it is an aspect of journalism or is a specialized aspect of journalism that it requires journalists to change location, traveling from one place to another, to source for news, to generate news content. And we delved deeper into the discussion. We were able to discuss some of the essentialities that are involved that a travel journalist need to acquaint with it, so that he can be able to disseminate appropriate information. And in today's class, we'll be looking at sources of travel news or ideas. Now, as a travel journalist, there are places that you can visit for you to generate news content that will be significant and relevant to the target audience. And one of the sources of news for a travel journalist is festivals. Festivals are excellent sources of news story for a travel journalist. Travel journalists can decide to visit those festivals, places. They can decide to go to those places, interact with people who come from different cultural background, different location, different states, different country, and then they can be able to interact with those people, get their opinion, their perception, their views on so many subject matters as far as the journalist is concerned. Because when you interact with them, they give you a kind of expose you to different issues which ordinarily you cannot be able to sometimes locate them. Then because you interact with them, they expose you to certain issues that can serve as an excellent news stories for you. So festivals like maybe Oshogbo Festival can also be a good source of news story for a travel journalist. Now another thing is carnivals. Carnivals is another wonderful source of information for a travel journalist, because when you attend such carnivals, you are also going to mix with people, mingle with people from different places, different locations, and they can also you interact with them, you ask them questions, they respond, and then they give you wonderful answers. And then you can use that ability to generate wonderful source of stories, develop stories that are unique, stories that can contribute in advancing the country, stories that stories that has to do with national interest, issues that are bothering the nation, because you have different caliber of people in those carnivals, and then you will be able to have a wonderful time with them, interview them, get deeper knowledge on issues. For example, when you attend the Calabar Carnival, you meet people with different ideology, different identity, different norms, different cultural values, and those people can be able to you engage them into stimulating discussion, that they can be able to share their thoughts with you, that can shape your own thinking ability. So as a travel journalist, these are places that you travel often to source for your news story that can enhance your proficiency in your own career as a travel journalist. Remember, we say it's a specialized aspect of journalism. It's not just any aspect of journalism, but you need to specialize in it, because it is not everybody that loves traveling as a travel journalist, you'll be changing location from one place to another. You'll be interacting with people. So you first, develop, traveling as your own hobby, so that you will be going to places. By so doing, you meet people, you exchange contact with them, and then they become source of your own, stories. When you have issues, even if you cannot be there physically, sometimes you call them because you already established a relationship. You have their contact, you call them, you ask them questions, and they can be able to, perhaps provide, wonderful answers that could, enhance your news story. Another, source of news is travel agencies. Do you know travel agencies? If you don't, then you need to work on now, because you need to start moving so that you can get contact with travel agencies. These are professionals in their own, specialized areas that they can, be able to dish out wonderful information to you as a travel journalist. When you meet these travel agencies, they can be able to avail you with information that has to do with other places which ordinarily maybe perhaps you have not been in those places, but because you identify yourself with them as a professional journalist or as a professional travel journalist, they can be able to expose you to certain issues which ordinarily you might not even come in contact with. So if you don't know them as a travel journalist, begin to get in touch or to make your findings, your research, so that you can discover from your findings of the research to know where those travel agencies are, so that you can get in touch with them, so that from time to time you'll be getting update from them, so that they can be able to be giving you information that cut across different places, not even within your local domain. As a travel journalist, you know to expose yourself to those travel agencies, because they have a lot of information, and they can be able to avail you with such information that they can, which can enhance your own, professional, career as a travel, journalist. Another thing we need to know is, travel blogs or bloggers. They also, they are unique and special in their own calling, because they are very vast. They, interact with different personalities, and this will serve as a good source of information for, a travel journalist. Another issue is the issue of, social media, influencers or posts. Those social media influencers are also excellent sources of, information for travel journalists. When, those social media influencers, they are very vast, and they are up to date as far as contemporary issues are concerned, because they keep on updating themselves. They peruse the internet. They know the update, the latest news. They know the latest things that are happening, within the globe. So as a travel journalist, you make those, people, social media influencers to become, your source of information, so that when you get in contact with them, you can be able to, generate, absolute and good, news story from them. Now, why travel journalism? A travel journalist is a reporter who is, very requisite in training, who is very vast, who is professionally skillful in terms of generating or sourcing news from other places. So, as a travel journalist, you must cultivate the habit of moving from one place to another to source for your news story. Now we have also influences of travel journalism. We have the issue of globalization. We have the issue of post-colonialism, we have the issue of culture. Now, what is globalization? Globalization is a kind of, a term that is used to enhance the interconnectivity, or what we call the interdependency of trade among different countries, different entities. Globalization has served as a kind of, bringing people together. And then post-colonialism is the kind of maybe the things that happen after the aftermath of the Western, colonialism. And culture is a total way of life. Thank you very much for being part of today's class. Hope to see you in the next class. Thank you very much.